Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating and honestly genuinely bizarre media phenomenon. We're going to explore how a gentle, critically acclaimed preschool show somehow escalated into an internet controversy so intense it actually involved real police reports.
Now, hearing a quote like, "This is straight-up torture," I would absolutely call the police. You'd probably assume we were talking about some gritty true crime documentary, right? Well, nope. That is actually a direct quote from a YouTuber known as Dragon Illusion reacting to a 2D animated preschool character. Okay, let's dive into this. To understand how a children's cartoon sparked accusations of literal animal abuse, we first need to look at what this show was originally designed to be.
Chapter 1: The Patchwork Pals Phenomenon.
So, created by animator Angela Steffen and produced by Studio Film Builder, this German animated series was aimed squarely at toddlers aged 2 to 5. And the premise is undeniably charming. It features 52 different animals living together on a multicolored patchwork quilt. Each 4-minute episode focuses on one animal facing a minor problem, specifically designed to teach highly impressionable young viewers all about empathy, cooperation, and collective problem solving.
The core educational philosophy driving all this charm is something called pro-social narrative mechanics. Basically, the creators built a simulated, self-contained social system right on this quilt. Characters like the bear are deliberately used to model how individuals should navigate physical and emotional crisis within a supportive community. It was engineered from the ground up to be a completely safe space for teaching emotional regulation.
Chapter 2: The Infamous Beaver Episode.
The setup for this specific episode seems harmless enough at first glance. Our buddy Patchwork Beaver runs into a super common, if a bit uncomfortable, childhood issue: a stubborn, stuck tooth.
Chapter 3: Patchwork Bear's Dental Crime.
And here is where the show totally throws its own rule book out the window. Normally, in a show like this, you'd expect the characters to just advise Beaver to wait for the tooth to fall out naturally, right? But no, Bear decides to take extreme action. He steps in and aggressively, forcibly yanks the tooth out in this tense, prolonged sequence before the other animals finally manage to intervene.
Chapter 4: Traumatized Kids and Angry Parents.
This broadcast revealed a massive disconnect between what the creators intended and what actually went down in reality. The BBC's CBeebies channel clearly intended this to be a comedic, exaggerated take on a common childhood fear. But out in living rooms across the country, young children were reportedly left traumatized, literally sobbing at the screen as the comforting social mechanics of the show completely broke down in front of them.
Parents were absolutely shocked. Take Sarah Jenkins, a mother from Manchester, who reported, "My 4-year-old was absolutely sobbing. It looked like a horror movie." Parents felt this sequence completely abandoned the gentle storytelling the franchise was so well known for, crossing a firm line into frightening, graphic imagery that just didn't belong in a preschool show.
Chapter 5: The Escalating Public Backlash.
So, following that initial broadcast, outraged parents weren't just comforting their crying kids. Some of them were actually picking up the phone and calling non-emergency police lines to report an episode of a cartoon. From there, it hit internet virality. Online commentators began posting aggressive analysis of the episode, actively labeling the bear's actions as animal abuse. It became a snowball effect that eventually forced the BBC to issue a formal joint statement. The online firestorm totally took on a life of its own. YouTuber Dragon Illusion argued, considering a young child imitating the bear's behavior, the bear should indeed be held accountable for his harmful actions. Commentators fueled the fire, arguing that because toddlers are so highly impressionable, Bear's actions were actively dangerous, with some even equating the animated sequence to straight-up torture.
Chapter 6: Will it be banned?
So, the crucial question now is, what happens to the show? While the BBC and the production team definitely defended their educational and comedic intent, the sheer volume of this severe feedback pretty much forced their hand. Their official response stated, "We take all parent feedback seriously and are currently reviewing the episode's placement."
Right now, the consequences are very real for the franchise. The episode was actually temporarily pulled from the BBC iPlayer streaming service while the broadcaster conducts a formal internal investigation. But for some folks, that just isn't enough. Several unsatisfied parents have demanded that the Patchwork Bear character be permanently removed from all future seasons.
So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Does sanitizing cartoon conflicts protect children, or is calling the police over an animated bear a step too far?
Where exactly is the line between protecting toddlers from inappropriate content and overreacting to a fictional patchwork animal? It's a fascinating question about modern media consumption, and for sure, one that leaves us with a whole lot to think about.